We're joined now on the set here at France 24 by John Lowe. John, welcome.
Thank you very much.
You are a member of Republicans Overseas France. You're also an attorney here in Paris. We just came out of that piece there on Tim Walz. How would you say Donald Trump's VP candidate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, compares to Walz? And are there Republicans out there who are voting Republican for Vance more than Trump?
I'm going to take the second question first. I really don't think so. Vice presidential choices really don't seem to have a great influence on presidential elections. That being said, I still remember my chagrin when John McCain picked Sarah Palin a number of years ago, where I did think that had a deleterious effect on his presidential campaign. Looking at J.D. Vance, I think he's actually done pretty well. I don't think he would have been my first choice for vice president. I think he's probably a lot in the same mold as Donald Trump. Dare I say it, a more polished version of Donald Trump. He speaks extremely well. He's extremely intelligent, and he is very good at dealing with hostile questioners, hostile journalists. So he's a very he's very polished. He's very smooth. He doesn't get flustered. So he is a bit of a populist, but that's from his background. He had a very rough upbringing, and then he was able to accomplish quite a lot. So I think he's actually been a net benefit to the ticket. He did very well in his vice presidential debate with Tim Walz. He clearly I'm using the word dominated. He was clearly the superior debater, performer is the word I was actually going to use. But he didn't do it by belittling Walz or attempting to cow him. He was quite empathetic during that debate, and he showed a very personal side to himself. He was kind and understanding, and I think that came across very well.
That's interesting, because I don't know if empathy is really the word that a lot of Democrats might use, perhaps, to describe Vance's running mate, Trump. But I just want to ask my question. I'm wondering about more moderate Republicans, both overseas and in the United States. Are all the moderate Republicans determined to vote for Trump?
All except one that I know. And I think the reason for that, you probably read Nikki Haley's piece in the Wall Street Journal a day or two ago, where she basically said, Trump is not perfect. I don't agree with him 100% of the time, but I disagree with Kamala Harris almost all of the time. And I think that sums up how I would view my Republican, what I will call the moderate Republicans. They're not enamored of Donald Trump, but this is a binary choice right now. And you have either Kamala Harris, who would be essentially 4 more years of the Biden-Harris administration, perhaps with even more of a leftward twinge to it than we've had already.
Nita, just very briefly.
Yes, if I could talk about Ohio and J.D. Vance. I was a reporter in Ohio for nearly 3 years, and I'd have to say that people from Ohio are proud of him. And I've read Hillbilly Elegy, and it is a moving book, and he talks about, as a child, wanting to be a professional puppy hugger. So he shows an empathetic side. The students who also discussed the book with me said they felt compassion for him. And so I think that particular factor and the pride of people from Ohio, plus in the book, he says, I know I have privilege. He says, I'm tall, I'm white, I'm male, and I'm heterosexual. And these things work for American voters in a lot of cases. I think the Republicans do support him, though Democrats criticize that pick. I see that Republicans are just fine with the package that J.D. Vance presents.